Hello everyone, this is Sabrina with Sabrina's Crafty Home Decor. Today we will be making a decorative birdhouse. Right now you see me painting a birdhouse I picked up at Goodwill, but these are actually Dollar Tree birdhouses, so you can pick them up there as well. And I'm using a burnt umber by Apple Barrel paint that I picked up at Walmart. And now I will be drawing it with my heat tool. This here is a candlestick I found at Hobby Lobby. And again, I'll be painting it with the Burnt Umber by Apple Barrel. You have to excuse my dog coughing in the background. So I took a piece of cardboard and I cut it into pieces the length of, or the width, I should say, of the roof of the birdhouse. You'll see me painting 10 of them here, but it actually will take 14. The purpose of these is we're making shingles for our roof. Each birdhouse, the roof is a little, if you get it at Hobby Lobby or whether you get it at another craft store, Michael's, Joann's, or Dollar Tree, the sizes will vary. So you'll have to play with it, figure out how many shingles you'd like your roof to have and measure them to the length of your roof and cut your pieces. I'm putting a second coat on them here. Okay, so now I'm taking a tea light candle, which you can also find at Dollar Tree or really any craft or supply store. And I'm rubbing the wax all over the birdhouse and the candlestick. And now we're going to take Waverly Plaster chalk paint and paint over the wax. The reason for this is I wanted a chipped paint look, and that wax keeps the paint from completely adhering to the burnt umber paint underneath. So we will be able to chip some of that paint, that plaster paint, away and bring out, show that burnt umber underneath and give it an old chip paint look. So I started to use my tool here, but it was way too wide. So I ended up using a piece of sandpaper. You see my little sanding tool here. I picked that up at Amazon. I just took the sandpaper off of it and folded it in half and used that to try to get into the tighter spots a tool couldn't reach to sand it down. And I sanded off some of that plaster. I just kept sanding until it looked the way I wanted it to. Then I took some more burnt umber with that little sponge you see there, and I dabbed most of the burnt umber off, and I dry brushed some of it back on top of certain areas of the paint just to help with the aged look. And now I'm taking Antique Wax by Jolie. The color is black. And I'm painting that all over both the stick and the birdhouse. That just helps give it a more aged look as well, kind of grunge it up a little. I really like that old antique-y, grunged up look, dirty look. But you don't have to do that if you like a cleaner look. And you're going to see me hot glue the candlestick to the birdhouse. But later, off camera, I had knocked it over and it popped right off. So I took the hot glue off and instead I used E6000 glue to glue them together, and that held really well. So now, starting from the bottom, you are going to start hot gluing your cardboard to the roof, overlapping each piece over the piece beneath it. And you want to leave just a little bit of lip at the top. Now the second side I ended up doing off camera. So this is a piece of wood that I picked up from Dollar Tree as well. And I was just kind of playing around with the look here, so there was no reason to wipe that paint off. Anyway, I am going to use the same process and with the burnt umber, then the tea wax, or tea candle wax, and then again the Waverly plaster. And then I'm going to sand it down again to give it that chipped paint look. And don't mind my little puppy on the side there. Well, she's not little. She's my big puppy. I was having a bad day physically, so she was pretty well glued to my side. Okay, so here you see me paint it white with plaster. The reason being I thought that I was going to place my napkin on that side, but then I decided against it. So after I dry it here, I turned around and painted it with burnt umber and decided to use that side as my bottom. And we're going to decoupage our napkin onto the chipped paint side. So again, when crafting, you just kind of play around with it, and oftentimes you end up going a different direction than you thought you were going to originally. So now this is our bottom. So then I'm going to take the napkin once this is dry, and there are 2 layers on the back of this napkin that I picked up from decoupagenapkin.com. And you're going to peel those 2 layers off. So you're just left with the thin top layer. And you want to work gently with this because the napkins tear easily. And you want to use a very thin layer of Mod Podge. If it's too thick, then your napkin is going to wrinkle. So once I've put the napkin on in the place where I want it and smoothed it out, I used the sandpaper to sand off the excess on the edges. And then put another thin layer of Mod Podge on top of the napkin. And then dried it. Now I'm trying to play around with it to see if I want to add anything else to the base or if I just want to leave it. I decided to leave it. I really liked that sunflower napkin and I wanted most of it to show, so I decided not to put anything else down there. And I used E6000 glue to glue the candlestick to the base. Now you see me painting yellow on the roof. I went back later and repainted it back with burnt umber. I decided I did not like the yellow on the roof. So in the next, right here, you'll see that it's back to burnt umber. So I took some moss that I picked up from Walmart and put it on the top of the birdhouse. Kind of helps cover that top seam. And then I took my little bird here and I glued some moss to the bottom of it to look like it's sitting in a nest, and then hot glued it into the birdhouse. Now, I didn't realize at this point, I think my battery was low and my camera quit, so unfortunately I made the bow off camera, and I added a little embellishment there in the center of the bow and then hot glued it into place. And here is our finished craft. I think it turned out pretty. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.